Ladies and gentlemen, it's the greatest YouTuber of all time, Nostalgia Bong Hits. We're back with another one. And I want to discuss like where the hobby's at right now. Is, like a lot of you people hate collectors. And I'm going to explain why this mindset won't work. If any of you became the collectors that you hate, okay? If any of you became the collector that you hated, and let's say 3 years ago, because 3 years ago, you could walk in your LGS, and they had mountains of Evolving Skies. Mountains. I mean, literally like 50, 60 cases. $600 a case. They were $125 a box. I could have bought as many as I wanted that day, and it would have affected no one. And I wanted to do this, ladies and gentlemen. I was just trying to find it for $100 a box, because that was the going price. And I just didn't get a chance to. And my goal was to throw $50,000 to $100,000 into Evolving Skies and hold on to it basically until now. And God, I wish I would have did that, because my goal, essentially when I first started, was to buy as much Evolving as I could. Hold on to it. And when prices hit like this, or the 1,300, like hook everyone up for like $500 a box and just crash the market. Like I really wanted to do that. And I didn't get to do that. And it pisses me off to this day. Like I would have made a fortune. And like I said, any of you could have did this too, and you would have, made a fortune. It's not just me. Like anybody could do this. And what you're witnessing right now is no one wants to do it. Like let's say any of you got 50 grand 5 years ago. None of you would want to spend it on Pokemon. I fucking promise you none of you would do it. Like none of you would drop 50 bands on Pokemon. And, that's why you're witnessing it slip away. That's why you're witnessing it happen. Because no collector put their foot down and bought. Or it wouldn't be $1,300. Like someone would have flooded the market right now. And that's why I think Evolving is going to hit $2,000 a box. I really believe it. Without a doubt. First of all, it's an incredible set. Second off, it's getting god awful to find. And, third off, if any major collector bought Evolving Skies for $125 a box that's only in it for the money, like if they're only in it for financial gain, not for collecting or anything else, they would have cashed out so long ago. Okay? Like if someone bought, I don't know, like 1,000 boxes or 2,000 boxes, they would have cashed out by now. So that's why you're witnessing prices slowly slip away, because none of you are doing anything about it, and that's why I say, like, honestly, a collector is your best friend because they risked their money in it so you didn't have to at that time, and if you hate the scalping, you can stop it yourself. You just got to risk your own money, and then wait till prices get higher and then hook everybody up, like any of you could do this. It's just, you got to have super faith and wait eternity for the boxes to ever go up and hope they go up and hope they don't go down and, all that jazz. And it's like, any of you could stop it. It's just you have to spend your own currency. And, it's the same thing as it was back then. No one wants to spend the money. They just want to complain. And I'm right with you. I don't like that things have gotten how they have, like it sucks. But like, what can you do? Like I said, the only thing you can do about it is to take $100 grand of your own money. Ooh, no one's going to do that. and buy them yourself and wait for the prices to go higher and then crush the scalpers. That's the only way to solve this problem if you want to be the hero, and like I don't know what to tell people, but like that's the only way, and you could hate me or whatever, hate what I say, it doesn't matter, but like that's the only thing that could stop it. And no one's doing that, so you're continuing to see prices go higher. Like I just bought a Surging Sparks box. Like if you think I'm a scalper or like I don't love Pokemon, I just spent $245 on a Surging Sparks booster box. Why? Because I just wanted one in my collection because I don't own one, and I think it's a beautiful box to just have to look at. Like, am I planning to make money off it? Probably fucking not. Like it could be years before that thing goes up. I know I'm definitely not quick flipping it and making any money. And I've done this with every booster box I've owned. I've bought at max market price at that specific time. And I was just happy with it. I was like, whatever. Like, I like the box. I'm keeping it, And I've done that every single time and waited for the prices to just go up, And even then, I still don't really sell because I like having the boxes in my collection, And I just don't know if I'll ever really sell. Like, I might never sell my collection, to be honest. Like I'll probably hold on to it until like I'm dead, which anymore might not be that long. But that's the point. Is like any of you could end this if you just spent your own fucking money. It's the same thing with the price of gold slipping away. Like if any of you bought gold at $1,500 an ounce, now it's like 3,300. You could lowball the rest of the market and dump all yours for $2,000. But no one ever does that. Everyone they always go for the max market value, and it is what it is, and like I said, like, do I like how the hobby's gotten? No, like it is a clusterfuck and a mess, and it's just not how Pokemon was supposed to be with, all the store rushing and shit, but, really you can only blame the company for that, but like the truth is, if any of you bought Evolving Skies boxes just a couple years ago, you could undercut the market tremendously and make everyone go to you, and then they would just not buy Prismatic because you would have Evolving Skies for, the same price. Like if you bought Evolving Skies ETBs for $40, you could flood the market for like 60, and no one would buy Prismatic. No one would buy, other people's Evolving Skies ETBs for $240. Like, it's simple supply and demand. And with Sword and Shield era, the supply is drying up. It's drying up massively. Sun and Moon era has already been dried up, and this is just, where we're at. And the truth is just no one has the balls to risk their money, because they want to use it for other stuff, and that's fine. But you can't complain, a couple years later. Like most of you were like chameleons, like you called everyone stupid for buying these boxes and made us all feel dumb, so we didn't buy a lot of them so we could hook people up now. And then now that prices have went higher and some of us did buy them, it's, oh, you guys are all scalpers, man. You guys are all terrible. Kids can't get packs and everything else. And, it's just like, dude, that type of attitude is why things are how they are. Like, it literally is, because you fucking hated on anyone that bought Pokemon. And then, like, so a lot of people, and yourself included, didn't buy a lot of it. And now the prices are where they are, and now you're complaining the same way, so no one buys now, and you'll do the same thing in 6 months from now. Like, today's prices are not going to be the same 6 months from now on every single product. It will all be different. And your job as a person in this hobby or a collector is to try to predict that the best you possibly can. And you know. But none of you want to risk your money. Like, I know people that love Pokemon that won't risk their money and buy any booster boxes. You know, like I had a friend when Twilight Masquerade was $100 a box. Now it's like 220. You know, he said I still wouldn't spend $100 on Pokemon. And he's like, that's crazy. You know, it's like, well, there you go. Don't complain now that it's expensive. You know, like I said this. I didn't say the same thing, but I was like, you know, I'm not buying these for 100. I already bought a bunch of other boxes. You know, like that's what happens. You know, you're watching it slip away from all of us, and you know that's why I'm saying to you guys, like, buy Lost Origin booster boxes while you still have a chance at, you know, whatever they're at, 380, whatever, because it will only get worse. You know, and you could fix it. You know, like when Lost Origin hits 1,000 in like a year from now, let's say, and you bought a bunch of them at 360 or 380, whatever they are, and you know now you can flood the market for $500 half off, and you still are making 100 a box. You know, like, you can stop this. It's just you got to spend your own money that you work for. You got to spend your own shit. Like, someone could crush the scalpers if they drop like a few 100,000. You know, like, it's just like, it's, I don't know. It's just it's such a stupid system. But either way, it is what it is. And, you know, a lot of you can hate my opinions on this. A lot of you probably agree with me. But, like, if you hate what I'm saying, go stop it. Go spend your own money. You won't. You know, none of you will. No one ever does. And then it turns out to be some people like Rudy, Nostalgianomics, you know, like your Leon Hart, you know, like your bigger people that just drop, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And those are the people that end up making the killing year after year after year after year. You know, and like they're not going to do anything to stop it. So really, it's all up to you, the individual person that doesn't think anyone should own anything. I guess, like, you know, you can stop it. You can change this. It's just spend your own money. Yeah, crickets. That's what I thought. It's always silent, you know? Every time you say spend your own money, it's just like everybody scatters, you know? Like, you think people were saying that about Bitcoin when it was like, you know, $100? You know, I'm starting to think Bitcoin is like the biggest thing to jump in on anymore. You know, me personally, I'm throwing a little bit of money in Bitcoin. But I think we're about to witness Bitcoin like 10x soon. I don't know when, but soon. I'm actually considering taking a lot of my money out of Pokemon and just dumping more money into Bitcoin. But you know, yeah, there's just it's just how it is, man. You know, and like I said, if any of you risk your own money, you could change this. You know, and it's just nobody will. So you'll see prices go higher next month and the month after that. You know, it's a vicious cycle. And I'm not for it. I'm really not. Like I said, I really don't have a dog in this race. Like, I don't have $1 million collection that I'm like banking my life on Pokemon going up. Like, I'm not. It will not affect my life if my investments go to zero or if they go through the roof. Like, I literally just buy boxes because I love them, you know, and I love the art, you know, like, it does not matter to me what they do. It really doesn't. I could give a fuck less. I could give a fuck less what Pokemon does, you know, like, if you think fucking $40,000, $50,000 affects my life in the slightest, you're wrong. Like, my collection does. It won't matter if it goes to zero, if it goes to a million, you know. Well, if it goes to a million, it would affect my life a little, but, you know, that's the point. Is things are just how they are, and invest yourself. You know, stop all the scalpers. None of you will. If any of you risked your money 3 years ago, you're wanting max price right now. It's the same. It's the same shit. You know, like when I bought Ancient Origins, I know the guy I bought it from bought it for like $600, and you think he gave a fuck? No, he charged my ass $1,200, man, full market price because he knows he can do it. Do you think he wanted to be some fucking hero? No. Any of you that do risk your money in it's like, no, I want full market or like 90% of market, you know, like that you can't fix a problem like that, you know. It's just like someone has to come in, buy a shitload of stuff with their own money and not care if they just get a small gain and just crush the market. That's the only way you can do it, man. Like if you hate the market that much, put your money where your mouth is and do something about it. None of you will. I hope you enjoy this. Invest in Evolving Skies, invest in Lost Origin, Chilling Reign, and Bitcoin. Have a nice day.